Everyone comes from somewhere, a place, a town here or there. A woman who failed to be a mother, a sister who hates her brother. All haters, all lovers, everyone comes from somewhere.
Hi, my name's Ben Niskevitz. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, and I've been living in New Orleans for almost the last 3 years in January. When I was 7 years old, I became a Christian. I had asked my mom what it meant to follow Christ, and there at the dinner table she told me what it meant to follow Christ, and that was something that I wanted to do. So I was fortunate enough to come to Christ at an early age. You know, I wasn't a rebellious kid during that whole time, so I lived a pretty, clean life. And then about when I was 19 was when I really started vocalizing my faith and doing evangelism, and that was just something that really stuck out to me. If I'm going to follow Christ, then Jesus says to be his witness, and a witness talks, and so that's what I did. I think it's important to live in the city for the city, because Jesus expects us to. If we claim the name of Christ, something should be different about us, and we should have something to proclaim. And so within the Great Commission, Jesus said, "Go and make disciples." So he's expecting us to go. He commands us. One of my big desires for the city of New Orleans, and really any city that I'm in, is a large focus on internationals. I've read percentages that over 80% of internationals, especially students, don't enter an American household while they're here, and I want to be the Christian that welcomes them into my household. That's why I work here at Global Maritime. What we do, we impact the international seafarers by helping to minister to them, by picking them up off their ships, taking them around the city to Walmart or Best Buy, or back here to the center where they can check their email or call home. And in the midst of all that, just try and share the gospel. And people are hungry for the gospel, and so if we're meeting their needs, they're ready to listen, and that's what we do. We need volunteers. We love volunteers to help. We always have food for people up here, and they enjoy when we cook for them or when we have sweets. And even you can come and help us, because 6 of us is kind of difficult to maintain 9,000 people. So any chance your community groups feel like coming out to serve within the city, we'd love your help. We'd appreciate it. So we have, I think, about over 75 different translations of the Bible. We've got Arabic, Chinese, Burmese. Some of the more popular ones are Filipino, Indian, or Hindi, and Spanish sometimes. But those are the main kind of people that come through here. This section of the map is called the 1040 window, and it stretches from northern Africa, from where my hand is right here. It goes all the way across right here. These are the least evangelized, most unreached countries of the world. And so sometimes we have these countries coming here. It's only just a small percentage of these people, though, because the majority of the people still live, the majority of the population of the world still lives in this part of the world and are still unreached. And this is why the message of the gospel is so important, to go to not only focus on the city, but to also focus on the whole world in general, and that Jesus commands us to go. And so be willing to have your life turned upside down to follow God's will, not your own. As one of my favorite singers, Keith Green, says, is to obey is better than to sacrifice. And I think there's much wisdom within that statement. When we follow Christ, it's not easy. Sometimes it is very difficult. In most countries where there's an Islamic presence, it is almost difficult and dangerous to be a Christian. So I would say to obey Christ is better than to sacrifice, because if Jesus died and he resurrected, and we really have salvation through Him, then He expects everything of us to live up to what He desires from us, and that is obedience of His will and not our own, and that we would spread the gospel to the ends of the earth, because He desires for all people to know Him, and He's waiting on His Christians to be His mouthpiece and instrument of hope.